All right.
Okay, Darcia, if you're ready to start, you can go ahead. I got a lot of people in though.
Okay.
It's still coming in.
Good. Thank you everyone for participating, for coming. We've had a great month of January for so many educational opportunities. We've talked about farming with your pets. We've talked about water. And today we are going to bring in someone so tangible to you all in the DFW Metroplex. And you say, where do you get your purple hull peas? Where do you get your cornmeal? Where'd you get those quail eggs? Where'd you get those duck eggs? Where'd you get those chicken eggs? Where are you getting your veggie starts? Most of this is coming from our guest today. She is a wonderful entrepreneur. She is a definite hustler regardless. This is one of the only employees that I know is just not stuck to the employee position. She is definitely about maneuvering, moving up, and she has earned her way into a soil sister from the day I met her. We'll talk about those things, but without further ado, our guest today is farmer Patricia Ray. Hi, Trisha girl, how are you? You're muted, mommy. You're muted still. Mr. John Tate, can you mute yourself? I can hear your background. Hey, Kilo. I
gotta figure out how to mute.
We still can't hear you, Trisha. Jerry, can you unmute Trisha?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, awesome.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, now I'm old, and then that's what happens when you're on the ground running.
Right.
Yes, but thank you all for having me on here today. I am at the farmers market. I'm working out of my trailer, but if you can see, I got plants out today and onion sets and spearmint and some things that we could do pre-cool crop time.
What does that mean? Pre-cool crop time.
Those are the plants that I've had to take in the house or inside the greenhouse to stay alive, like the aloe indoors, spearmint indoors or greenhouse. And then I got the onion sets going. So those are coming out now.
Got you. So tell us about your operation and what you have going on, because when I met you at Paul Quinn College, you were at the farmers market. You were there for the opening and you had one little table of veggie starts. Can you tell us about that and your operation now?
Yes. Hi, I have purple hull peas ready to cook and plants ready to grow. Yeah, thank you. So what I do is, my dream was to become, well, I really didn't know what it was. I started off with chickens, me and my daughter, and we had to learn how to take care of those chickens. And then what started me growing was they had ate up all my grass. So I started growing wheatgrass. And then I just got curious with the seeds and dropping seeds everywhere. So my very first farmer's market, I came there loaded with eggs, basil, and tomato plants, because those was like the first ones, plus trays of wheatgrass. And then when I saw the power of what was going on as far as like making a career out of it or some extra money, I was like, oh my God, I got to go back home and grow some more. Well, the only thing I could really grow real fast was the wheatgrass. So I rolled out with that for a while.
Okay, so you are talking about, so did you have acreage or were you in an apartment? How did you do this?
I started out at my house in my backyard. Actually, those chickens were raised in my front living room, and then we moved them out to the backyard. Me and my daughter, we built a chicken coop. Then I later on rented a 5-acre spot in Hutchins because I wanted to see if I really liked doing what I was doing, growing and raising the birds and everything. And then I had a couple goats in my backyard right there on 35 in Wheatland. And then I ended up moving from there to Ben Franklin, Texas, which I met a cattle rancher. Darcia was with me. It's been 5 years now. So, and he has a cattle ranch in Ben Franklin, Texas. So I have now currently like 4 cows out there, another chicken coop, and a greenhouse.
You have moved along. And yes, I do remember that day we were in Reno for a conference.
Yes.
And we sat down at a table to introduce ourselves, everyone. And this man, he kept looking past me. And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? So I said, excuse me, sir, let me move. So you can see the best view. Let me move out the way. So I moved in a whole nother seat and he was cool and comfortable. He said,
that was funny how we met.
yes, it was amazing, actually. But yeah, so you are at market and when you started working farmers market, we're Dallas Ag Women and we're trying to get other women to see how to move, how to maneuver the way you did. And you came out, you had a nurse uniform on.
Yes, I did. Yeah. Because I've been nursing for 32 years.
Okay. And so you come and you got all of this, these vegetables, and you did have a lot of tomatoes and you had a lot of basil and you had some eggs, and she prided herself on, and they still got poop on them.
Yeah. Yeah. Because some people, they don't want you to wash the eggs and everything because they want it like strictly organic, which is a good way to go because, it keeps when you don't wash them off, the brine will stay on there and then it'll keep the eggs fresh and organic. And it has enzymes on it that protect the eggs so they can really stay on your counter for about 2 weeks without being refrigerated. But if you wash it off, you better refrigerate them.
Got you. That's very similar to having a baby. When we have the baby, we do not wash the baby right away. Like you're not supposed to do that if you do that. Right. So you have this table. How much, when you started market, how much money was that? Was it even a good thing for you? Or were you like, shoot, I don't know if I'm gonna keep going?
Well, the very first time, it was mind blowing. And I really didn't know the power of it, of farming turned into a career. But me and my daughter, we sold out that day. All the plants we had. That's like I said, when I went back home, I had to go home and grow wheatgrass, which I figured out it only took 6 to 10 days to produce a crop of that. So I had trays of wheatgrass growing. So that was until the other tomatoes turned out. Hi, how you doing, sir?
Good, how you doing?
Take 5. I have purple hull peas ready to cook and plants ready to grow. Sorry, y'all.
No.
Mangonadas.
Really good, right?
Right. So this was exactly what she was doing. So with her being a nurse, you all, when we were at the
I have mango flavor only.
How about this chick, before she arrived, there would be customers that wanted their B12 shot.
Oh, you don't have mango?
Yep, I had one come through here today. Yeah, this mango today.
They wanted the cornmeal. So she literally got there and had to set up, bring her corn out and start grinding to start bagging it up at the market. So we're trying, once she makes the sale, we're trying to get to the point of how profitable could this be for you? Now she's saying wheatgrass. That is very equivalent to having a microgreen farm in your house. She's not telling you she's growing wheatgrass outside. She's telling you she's growing wheatgrass inside. You back?
Yes.
Count your money.
I'm gonna tell you how profitable it was. I have been in market probably like about 5 or 6 years, and I have replaced my nursing income up to 20% right now.
Wow.
And that's what the products that I produce, which is primarily purple hull peas, the fresh eggs, and then the plants. Since COVID, I added concessions because I have other value added products that comes out of the farm or things that we produce.
So you have a product that is also something that I'm surprisingly, you never really talk about. She's the purple hull pea queen. We'll talk about that in a second. But there's another product that this woman has that changed her life. Can you talk about your juice?
Oh yeah. Well, when COVID, okay, I was always juicing, of course. And I made a fat burner juice that helps me lose weight and burn fat and everything, and can help you too. So when COVID hit, I started making even more of it, and I was getting more orders for it. And on top of that, wait a minute, y'all, I'm multitasking. Look, this is another thing I market. This is Italian water ice. There you are. That'll be $4. Laura, I don't have Apple Pay today.
Okay, you have a second card?
No, just take it. Y'all have a good day. No. Well, I'm on a Zoom call.
I understand that, but now we owe you some money. You're gonna take nothing card or nothing?
Well, you can Zelle me.
Okay.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay. It's more than one way to skin a cat.
Ain't it?
Now I was gonna let them go with that because I mean, you know, the money follows. 469 855. Look at her, she ready to get to it. 4138.
You're over here giving a master class.
Yes, yes.
Make sure you get paid.
Can they hear me? Can that person hear me?
You're in my ear.
Oh, I was gonna say you are doing a master
Yeah,
class.
that's me. She said I am doing a master class, nursing to farming. Yes, thank you.
And hustle ice water on the side.
Yes,
okay?
sir. You hear what he said? It's hustling ice water on the side. Okay, so yes, so I was able to replace my nursing income within about 3 years of doing this market operation.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
love
when
it. I
you're
wouldn't
talking
turn
about
back.
that product though, how did it change your life? You were at what size when you made your product, and then where are you now?
I was at 220 pounds, 220 pounds, and now I'm about like 170, 180, around there. I was at a size 20 and I went down to a size 14.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
With your juice.
That's with my juice. I was juicing. Yes. And changing my diet too along the way. But yeah, mainly juicing.
Awesome. So that's the one product that once again, I'm very surprised that she doesn't have, that's not the main thing, because she has before and after pictures. In addition to a lot of the other people during this time were getting surgeries, and you were talking about that.
Yes. And then they were going to get these BBLs and lipo 360s and they were, needing, some fat burning because they don't think about that because they overweight and they done got fat sucked out of them and they need to manage their weight. So yeah, I have ways to teach them how to manage their weight with the juicing and also diet changes.
Your mic is sounding off.
Wait a minute, let me find where it is. The microgreens are really important and something quick that I could grow for them and that they can use as a meal replacement, as in a salad.
So as far as the wheatgrass goes, so you're growing the wheatgrass, how much were you charging and how much does that make?
$10. I was selling $10 trays, like 10 by 10 trays, but preferably like for a restaurant, you would do a 10-20 tray, 10 by 20. Mm-hmm. So when I bring 10 by 10s out to the market and sell them for $10, and not only can people juice with those, they can dice them up and put them in salads, or they can use it for pet grass, cat grass. Dogs can eat it, so it has a lot of multi-purposes to it. Mm-hmm. And basically, yeah.
So why did you choose wheatgrass versus another?
Because the chickens ate my grass up first, and I just wanted to bring something in that they were eating. And then when I really started doing the research, because like I started from ground zero myself, so all of this is new and life improving, life changing for me. So I started with the wheatgrass, to replace the grass that they had already eaten up. And then I needed it for the goats that I had back there too. I only had 2 back there, but still, they needed grass too.
So the city of Dallas let you have some goats and some chickens in the back.
Not the goats, the city, but I never got dinged for them. But the chickens you can have in the city of Dallas, you can have as many hens as you want. You just can't you can only have 1 rooster, but he has to be caged. Now, who wants that?
Right.
So, yeah, so you can have as many hens as you can place in your space. In my backyard, I try to maintain 100 birds. So that could be a combination of ducks, chickens, and quails. And all my quails are caged. And I have accommodations for like maybe like 100 to 200 quail right now.
So you can do 100 or 200 quail in addition to the 100
yes,
duck and chickens.
Yes. So that could be like
Whoa.
200 birds. Yes. Yes. For real.
I got a question. So how big is your backyard for you just, and I don't want to say for you to have 100 birds? How big is your backyard in the suburban or urban area that you live?
Really, to be honest with you, I'm on 35 in Wheatland, and I'm in a subdivision, and you wouldn't even know I had all that back there. But my backyard is like a big rectangle. Darcy has seen it before, and it's really wide, and it's shaped like a rectangular. So nobody is never, and then they free range. So they're not on top, they're not caged. Only birds are caged is the quail.
So can we say like a 50 by 50 square, which is the typical backyard, 50 by 50 with the house?
So, 30 by 60?
Yeah, I would probably say about 60 to 100.
So, okay.
Yeah.
I would say at least, yeah.
Okay.
I can see that.
So it's most of my clients that I grow for here in the DFW Metroplex have a bigger backyard than Trisha Ray.
Oh, wow. So they can really
most
do
of my clients have a bigger backyard than Trisha Ray.
And with my backyard, I have replaced
she has
my
a big
income.
backyard. Who else has a bigger backyard that I just Bettina, you have a bigger backyard as well. Bettina's just getting on, so she's probably not hearing that part. But yes, and when she's talking about quails and she's talking about ducks, she didn't tell y'all she's hatching the duck eggs.
Oh, yeah.
She's doing that herself.
I hatch them myself. And sometimes I hatch chickens, and I definitely hatch all the quail.
How is the duck eggs that you're selling?
They're about like.
And what background? No, I said how popular is it, and what community picks up the duck eggs the most?
Indians, the Mexicans, they'll pick it up. Black people, they need to be educated a little bit more because they just can't see it happening. But it's an egg is an egg. Mm-hmm. And they all have different, properties. Like chicken eggs, organic chicken eggs are good for one thing. Duck eggs are good for another thing. And I'm gonna tell you, those quail eggs are very powerful as far as building protein and muscles in your body. And you need them, and it's good for COVID producing and preventing and managing, because they're loaded with amino acids. Quail eggs is loaded with niacin and some other vitamins, loaded with proteins. It increases your libido. It helps to stabilize blood pressure and blood sugar. Everybody needs a quail egg a day.
Wow. And quail eggs are very small, and they are the more perishable egg.
Yeah.
As I remember you was telling me before, she was educating me.
Yeah. And then another thing too with the quail bird, when you eat them, that little small bird will fill you up.
Wow. So I buy chickens.
That's kind of like a Cornish hen.
Right.
Yes, about the size. They dress out to about a pound and a half.
Are you still processing any meat?
No, not currently. It's just been hard to sell it.
Okay, because they are expensive to actually get done. I have bought organic chickens from Trisha before, and I'm talking about you understand the difference between the chickens you purchase and what is being locally grown. I was even able through another organization to give out some local chickens about 2 years ago, and that quality is just so different. But
right, and that freezer burn.
Correct. Jerry, did you have any other questions before I move on into something else with Trisha Ray?
Yeah, the microgreens. I kind of wanted to build on the microgreens.
Okay.
There are a couple companies out here, one called Snappy Salads, and then a lot of your farm to table type of restaurants are very interested in microgreens. So I just want to bring a little bit of nutrition value of why a microgreen is so powerful. And I have to give this up to Will Allen, who taught me, right? And I think you're right on point with microgreens, and everybody can be growing them in their home. And we're talking about producing like between 500 to 1,500 pounds right in your home, you know?
Right in your home.
So the microgreen can be just about anything, right? So we'll just start with the sunflower. And the sunflower seeds are very cheap. Now, what does a sunflower plant want to do? It wants to go from that seed to the really big sunflower that you see. And what happens is, after she said, and she's right, 7 to 12 days, 12 days being in the winter, 7 days in the summer, that seed goes from here to here. And it's trying to get to that 5 feet, 6 feet tall, right? So that's why it's so dense in nutrients. It's still got all that energy and power in it. So what do you think is going to do for the body, y'all, that are on this call? So that's the power of microgreens, and you can do microgreens in just about every type of vegetable we have. That's my 2 cents.
So true.
And you can make the flavors. See, one thing that we were very popular for I was very popular for at Paul Quinn College was mixing the arugula microgreens with the mustard microgreens, with the sunflower microgreens, and the pea shoots, which are pea microgreens. That combination had the city workers stopping to get their half a pound, which was $5. I've gone to Dallas Farmers Market and seen prices as high as $20 almost for less than a half a pound. So the profit is there, but it's more of the flavor that you can put together. You go get that romaine. A lot of people don't like salads. They'll tell you, I don't want to diet because I don't want salads. Microgreens bring the flavor. You put that combination with some fish or some chicken or any other, type of meat, you will be satisfied. You will be full of nutrients. You will reduce the amount of supplements you need in your diet. Trisha, can you speak to that, to supplements and things that people are doing and they could be using it in their food?
Oh yeah, like red cabbage, good for killing cancer cells. Kale, I did red Russian kale, and I did radish microgreens together as a mix a lot of times. And girl, it's just powerful and unbelievable. But yeah, like you got your cancer patients, they need that off the top. People, elderly people, they need it. People with low appetites, because the plant is so small and it's bringing in loads of nutrients that they need, all the vitamins and minerals that they need that's coming from these particular plants. Get your salad mixture together. You might do some barley, you might do some radish, red Russian kale, you can do nasturtiums, you can do mustard greens, and just bring it in. That's a good mixture, loaded with the nutrients. You don't have to worry about your loved ones because they getting fulfilled.
So are you the type of farmer that's doing root crops? Are you doing corn? I know you're doing purple hull peas, but what other crops do you have?
Collard greens.
Collards.
Yeah, that's the only thing I really grow out is collard greens, and then the purple hull peas. And then I do like tomato plants around the house. So on the outside of my house, I utilize every inch of my house on the outside. The birds are in the back, and then on the outside of the house, that's where I keep all my nursery plants. And a lot of the ones that I have for sale are right in the front of the front yard. And usually, they right over there.
So you have birds in the back, you're utilizing the side. I remember you was constantly creeping over and tell the city. See, Patricia Ray gonna go until they cut it off, but she kept going over and over and over to this area until the city told her that she couldn't expand anymore. But that's the kind of energy you have to have. You have to find your place in agriculture. Now, how did you get to where you have a trailer and you can pull up as a vendor and you're selling Italian ice? Where did this come from?
Well, that came from COVID with the juices, because a lot of times people, they don't like healthy things and they're like, oh, the juice. So I decided to do fresh squeezed lemonade, and I squeeze it right here fresh. Here's my squeezer right here. So I squeeze it fresh. Usually I'm outside under a tent, but today is a little different. The produce people didn't show up. Do you hear me? The produce people didn't show up. Do
Yes.
you hear me? Yeah. Okay.
I'm telling all of our callers, all of our farmers, we are able to come and join Trisha at a market and sell out. I used to do it all the time.
We are in need, you know, because one person can't supply everything all the time. People have special cups. So anyway, I started doing fresh squeezed lemonade to appeal to the people that didn't want organic juices, because none of my juices have any sugar added. It's all juices or fruits to sweeten. Okay, so then the Italian ice, I just fell into the Italian ice because that'll be something I can easily make for myself, because it's just really ice and sugar. And flavoring. So I added that in, you know, for the kids and stuff. So now I have peas and produce, plants and produce on one side. I usually set up 2 tents, plants and produce, and then concessions on the other. And I have expanded off into mangonadas, bubble teas. So I do a Thai milk tea. I do a matcha green tea, and then the coffee, the lattes, a vanilla, a mocha, and a caramel macchiato for the winter time, and then I turn it into ice for the summer.
How beneficial has this been for your family?
Very beneficial. I can pay some bills. I'm talking about I've reduced my nursing income. Like I only work like 20, I only need to work about, I can live off of 10 hours a week of nursing now. Because I come out here faithfully. You got to come out here every week because these people be looking for you. You got to come out here faithfully and come out here and come meet your customers, and you're gonna make some money. Yeah, I've walked out of market $1,200 on a Saturday.
Right, I know that
I come out here on a Sunday.
Market about 700 to 900 with just crops, not with the variety that you have.
Yeah,
and you got eggs and things. So yes. So
and then another thing, I'm coming out here by myself, so I'm only like, I bring whatever I can handle because I want it to be fun. You know, I don't want this to be strenuous or, you know, so I just, you know, make it fun. Like that day when I came out there with those little twigs of collard greens that day. I look at that video, I'm like, here I come. But they sold, didn't they? Hey.
Yes, they did.
Darcia. Yes. We have a couple of questions in the chat that I want to get in.
Go ahead.
The first one is, how can I try what you sold at Paul Quinn? So someone wants to try the mixed salad sprouts, the microgreen.
How y'all doing?
Yes.
So I have purple whole peas ready to cook. I have
go ahead and meet Miss Trisha real fast.
And then I have for concessions, I have the mango water ice. How can I serve?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so what I did at Paul Quinn is I went and got grower trays. They usually say, if you say seed starting trays or grower trays, they're black. I got those. I don't know what the size, but I think they're a 10 by 20. And I filled them up with my Filthy Rich nutrients. I did mix my own soil when I was at Paul Quinn. And I have a video to show you that too. But I added my seeds to the top. I lightly dusted some more soil on top because these are very, very shallow seeds. They don't need to be buried. You don't need to press on them. I watered them depending on what time of year, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day because they're shallow, so they can dry out in a greenhouse. But I watered them and you'll see germination within a day or 2. After that germination, I harvest them once they get, like Jerry said, no more than I think an inch or 2. You don't really want them to be, big and floppy, nothing like that. You want them to be nice after I think their true leaves come out. And then I wash them, put them in a spinner, and then I package them in clam shells, the containers you would actually sell them in. And I weighed those clamshells out to be a little over a half a pound, and I sold them for $5 each.
So Darcia, what I think we ought to do, since we have to have our in-person meeting, is for those of you who are on and want to join us, I think this is a good time to invite everybody out to join us. And those who are already members, I want to remind y'all that the dues are due. They're only $40 a year, and you get
30.
this. I'm
30
sorry,
right now.
it's $30 right now. It's on
Until
sale.
April 1st. Yes.
And then come out to Pan-African Connections, and we'll have this workshop where you can try them, everything here very soon. One other question, and this is to you, Trisha Ray. They said, wow, what sells best? And somebody wants to know, who didn't hear earlier, where are you currently at right now, Trisha Ray?
I am at where am I? I'm on Josie Lane. I'm at the Carrollton Farmers Market through Four Seasons Markets. I'm working out of my trailer right now, but if y'all can kind of see down the aisle, yes, this is where I am. And it's in Carrollton, Texas, off of Josie Lane and George Bush Turnpike. The thing that I sell the most, and the most popular thing, no matter what, hands down, is purple hull peas. Yes, sir. Purple hull peas. Because really the concessions, that's just some extra stuff. I come out here, if I don't come out here with nothing else, I'm coming out here with purple hull peas and plants. Definitely. But that's like my biggest seller. That's the thing I branded my, oh. Am I muted?
No.
Am I there?
No, I was. How did you start selling purple hull peas?
Oh my goodness. Boy, let me tell you something. That was the best blessing in the world. So Paul Quinn was growing purple hull peas, and I saw how they were selling so much. I started dropping seeds and selling, the baby plants of purple hull peas. I put like 5 peas in a gallon pot, and I was selling. They was flying off my table. So then the market manager, he decided, I'm tired of picking these peas. I'm like, oh, for real, I didn't have to hear that, I see a need and feel a need. I'm like, but really from my heart, I was like, how's he gonna stop the pea production? And these people want the peas. Those peas are so nostalgic. I'm from Chicago. I didn't have a farming background, so I didn't know how nostalgic and special these purple hull peas were. And so I was like, well, okay. So I partner up with some other farmers, and we co-op together. We rent a 100-acre lot, and we grow those peas together, and we put in our money together and make it happen. And that's what I'm saying, just because you might have a small backyard, because another thing too, I got another spot in Hutchins, Texas from a friend of mine. He has another 5-acre spot too, and I got a coop with roosters. So you don't have to just stop at your backyard. And these stores, they may not own these buildings that they in, they rent them. The same thing for you. Go rent you some grass somewhere, some land, some spot, anything where you could grow up, house some animals. There's some places down the street from me. I'm sure if I walked up there and asked them, hey, can I, use a little spot? I'm sure I could put some goats back there if I want to, because my boyfriend in the country, he's like, he didn't like hearing them goats cry. So when COVID hit, and I had to come to Dallas full time, I just brought the goats with me. I loaded them up in the trailer and brought them back to the city and sold them. So that's how that went. So, I saw a question pop up. I didn't see what it was.
They were just commenting that Miss Vandella, who's been on listening to you, said she hadn't had purple hull peas in 20 years since her grandmother, and she's from Chicago too.
Okay, I'm off of 90th and King Drive, and here your purple hull peas ready to drop in the crock pot. And look at here today, I got diced okra from the summer. Yes.
What about that cornbread and that cornmeal that you can roll up? Tell them about that.
You know what? I left the cornmeal, and I got wheat flour too.
Oh.
All you got to do is grind it. It's a little grinder. It's like a cast iron grinder. You just sit it down there. And I don't grow wheat and I don't grow corn, but there's other farmers like Darcia might grow corn. Jerry, you might grow wheat. I don't know. I grab your wheat, I grab your corn, but I go ahead and manufacture it and bring it to the market.
Nice, Trisha Ray.
Out the box and produce it. Everybody can. And logistics is like one of the biggest problems, especially like when I look at the other farmers in the country from Ben Franklin, they have products, but they have trouble bringing it to the city.
Yeah, that is our
Yes.
main thing. That is what Jerry and I, through the Dallas Ag Women, are working on, a network to secure our ability to eat when need be. We're already seeing the ramifications and side effects. So because I'm able to work with these farmers, we won't be hungry. But what are you going to contribute? So when this bartering comes about, when she has these purple hull peas, what are you gonna have?
Hey, how you doing?
Because that's getting ready to be more than money here very, very shortly.
Yes.
Go ahead and mute Patricia Ray while she handles her customer.
And we have somebody who asked, she needs to know how long she's going to be at that spot today, because they want some purple hull peas. And we have a testimony real quick by Miss Rhonda. She says the purple hull peas are the best I've had since leaving Alabama decades ago. Even my very young grandbabies were asking for more.
Yes,
testament
I
to
agree.
Product.
I agree. And the beautiful thing about this is when they harvest, this is not a process. They harvest, they freeze, they package, and they freeze. So you're not even dealing with additives. You know, this is another natural way for you to have a product. So that's what sets her apart from others when she is processing, is that it's not going to be a situation where you have additives or they're trying to put an MSG or something addictive to you know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing that she is too kind to say that I will inform you all about the decision at Paul Quinn College, it had nothing to do with the actual institution. It definitely had to do with the farm director. And the farm director was a young guy. He was, you know, in his 20s. And who was going to show up and see about those peas? They wanted to see when we planted them. The community wanted to see when they sprouted. They came and wanted to see if there was any pest on them. Like, the community was coming to see the purple hull peas the whole time. This is why they had to be omitted, because he didn't like that check and balance and that responsibility to the community. And then once they got harvested, they understood there was a couple families that knew that what we should be yielding, because they had done it in the past. So when they came to buy and he wouldn't allow them to buy that amount, the lady sat there and said, I know you got more. I've been coming. And she wanted them all. She didn't care. She was going to pay the premium. But he said no. So he thought she left, and she didn't. She just reparked. And he pulled out another bag, and she came over and went slap off on him. That was the day. So wow. Patricia Ray was there and saw that. I said, girl, you better find a way to grow purple hull peas. She said, on it. So that's her enterprise right there. Paying attention to those that are insensitive to where they are serving.
We find is often, no need to harp on it, but we do find those challenges often, not only in our own city, Darcia, but as we travel around to different states, there are similar challenges and different challenges as well.
Yes. And then as far as markets go, usually your markets, most people are going to be up and at market while we are setting up. Why would you do that? Because the farmer is going to put their best things out first. And whatever that is going to be the most nutritious, of course, but it's going to be the more prettier things. So people come to market first thing in the morning, like you would show up on Black Friday to go buy something, you know, for a present or a toy. This is how certain communities, your Caucasian, your Indian, and your Hispanic, Mexican communities are attracted to nutrition over bling or finance or, you know, kicking it. So their number one thing is to get up and be at market. They're already walking up as you know, doing stuff. And if they know that I'm willing to sell right then, they'll buy right then. but some people are like, wait till I get set up. You know, it's just preference. But markets are usually from like 8 or 9 in the morning to usually 1 or 2. Usually they do not usually last longer than that, because during the summer, all of the heat rays and just, you know, your produce is compromised. Any other questions?
No, just a comment. Bettina said, I can't wait to get our land and be more productive. I'll grow purple whole peas. Sound like we're gonna have a purple whole pea cooperative going on soon.
Yes. And Bettina's backyard is big enough to do a little more than Trisha Ray's doing.
Okay.
And it's sure a need. It's sure a need.
Use is a question. You want to answer that, Darcia?
Okay, yes, I will repost. There is a link at the top, and I'm posting it now for you all. And this helps us to be able to invite more farmers to the table. And why is that important? So that we have more access. And Vandella, you do not have to worry, or anybody don't have to worry about her being at market. I help my soil sister. So if I have to get things to make delivery, I do that. If she calls me and says she needs, or you can meet up with her somewhere else, this is not, oh, she's done for business today. That's not how Trisha Ray operates, and nor do I. So when I go pick up mine, people say, when's the next time you're gonna get your purple hull peas? And I say, girl, thank you for asking, because I'm gonna go get them tomorrow because I forgot. Then we link up so that you can get them, because she is everywhere. And I do come to you all's homes. Another thing I wanted to give a good shout out to Wilmer, Texas, Emmanuel Wealthy Legacy Foundation. Most of you have linked up with me this week, and I was able to give you free, fresh, organic broccoli, grapefruit, oranges, potatoes, romaine lettuce, collards, dandelion leaves.
Ooh.
And if none of these were going to get, sold or anything, I was totally going to give them to Trisha Ray's chickens. I mean, if you can't eat before it goes bad, your chickens totally can have it, and create that nutrients for you to be able to eat it through the chicken, But these things are available, and members, if ever, you want produce throughout the week, hit me up and let me know, and I can meet you somewhere if you cannot get to Wilmer for this free produce. Now, I use this free produce for new recipes, things I would not go spend my money on and buy personally. I'm not getting ready to go buy a whole bunch of beets to experiment, but I'm going to go get those free beets. I'm going to regrow the tops so I can continue to have greens. I'm going to make something with the middle, and the tail I'm gonna put into, a compost or something like that, or a soup. So all the way around, members, you have that access. Go ahead, Jerry.
Darcia, Miss Rhonda, she wants to know what plans does Trisha Ray have, and how long will she be there? That's her second time asking. And Nikki Hill, yes, the fee is due annually. So
yes, so if you paid in October, if you paid in August when we started, you're good. Like Bettina, she paid in August. So it's every year you pay. You don't pay on the calendar every new calendar year. It's when your time is due.
Right. It's when you can.
Miss Rhonda, so markets end in between 1 and 2 p.m. So I'm not sure until Trisha gets back on to say exactly how long she'll be there, but usually she would be leaving by 2. And once again, she sells these plants. She said 2. So she sells these plants at her home too. So we can link up, or you can link up with Miss Trisha Ray. We'll ask her to put her information in the chat. She is definitely connected to me in Facebook as a friend. She is my soil sister. And you will be able to find many of our communications and our pictures. And when she went to go get her farm number, I was the person there to help her start her entrepreneur enterprise. So not only am I able, or we able to offer ideas, we're able to help you start your actual farm. Go ahead, Jerry, you had something else?
I said we're able to help implement and execute. Yes. And then we had another question. If she had sweet potatoes, I don't know if that were plants or if that was sweet potato, actually the potato.
Okay, so I know that we have, I gave a lot to Mr. John Tate on the call, a lot of the sweet potato vines from Lincoln High School. But I don't know if anybody has any sweet potatoes right now because they wouldn't be harvested right this second.
Right.
So that's what I'm challenged with. But a lot of people should be growing sweet potatoes because they're a very hardy crop and they don't require that much.
The actual potato.
Yes.
Yeah. She doesn't.
Oh, the actual potato. Yes, yes. Miss Nikki, how you doing, girl? Yeah, we don't have any yet, but if I go to any kind of market or whatever, I will make sure to connect with you directly and tell you I have sweet potatoes. But I don't have any, and I don't know anybody that's harvesting them right now. If somebody has them, they're probably having sweet potato greens. And that's why you should want to grow sweet potatoes, because you can actually eat their sweet potato greens.
And let me tell you all this since we're on it. We have a very huge African population here. And we have a ton of African stores that are looking and wanting to work with us. Us meaning Dallas Ag Women, us meaning Black farmers here. And they go through sweet potato leaf. One store was going through 1,000 pounds every week, no problem. I have been asked from several stores that I went and personally talked to, and they said, look, if you would just get 5 acres and grow nothing but sweet potato leaves, you don't even need to process it. Bring us the whole vine, we'll process it on our own, and we'll do good business, Jerry. So
yes, sweet potato greens are fantastic. They need it. Everybody wants them.
Yeah. And it might be part of what we're missing out of our diet as well, but I mean, that's a whole nother topic and discussion. But meaning getting back to our indigenous foods that we eat and start incorporating some of that into it, even though I know a lot of us are from here in America. I want to make that clear to some of my people out there. But in saying that, oh, Trisha Ray's back. Unmute, Trish. Unmute.
Okay. One thing sorry, thanks y'all for working with me because I'm out here at market.
No,
but I want to say one thing about the sweet potatoes. One thing about the sweet potatoes, you could grow a lot of sweet potatoes in the house. Number one, they'll go to vine. Number two, before the vine go to vines, those are your sweet potato slips. All you have to do is put them in another container of water, and you can sell those plants for people to grow sweet potatoes. So not only do people need to find some acreage or some buckets to get those sweet potatoes growing, sweet potatoes are so easy to grow. And no, they're not growing this time of the year, but you can get those slips started and you can get those vines going right inside your house.
Biggest side we've ever had. Pretty good dark boys.
Mute out.
There's 2 people I think that need to be muted.
Maybe the detergent.
Got you. So regarding sweet potato vines, like Trisha said, they're going to be very quick growers. Another thing that everybody, well, not everybody, it's a huge market, is callaloo.
Yes.
Amaranth. These indigenous things are pretty much heirloom. And once again, back to Jerry's point, they are a necessity for melanin dominance. We are on a European diet via our grocery store. Even when it comes to our medicine, you have to pay attention to who it's for, who's growing it, who can really consume it, and who's getting the most sick. And it's melanin dominant people. So that means that our diet is not conducive to what we are needing. And it doesn't necessarily mean fast food. It means when we are going and eating seedless produce, and we are eating boneless meat, and we're eating filleted fish. We have no true ability to trace those things back to their origin. And I hope that makes sense.
Sir, I'm on a Zoom call doing a class. Do you have cash? I'm on a Zoom call doing a class. Do you have Cash App or Zelle?
I got Cash App.
Okay. Can you do Cash App me?
How much I Cash App?
What you getting?
What's your Cash App?
Oh, 469.
She's a hustler all day getting ready to make that bread. Do we have any more questions?
I'm gonna open the lines up. I'll open them up. Just unmute yourself as you have a question. One at a time, though, please. Y'all hear someone talking, just stop and let that person go.
No problem for coming in late, Miss Joyce. You're all good.
Yeah.
We did record.
I have a question. What is the best variety of purple hull pea to grow here? Is there different varieties?
Great question.
That is. So I don't remember varieties at all when I was growing. I didn't have the autonomy. I didn't have the ability to say yes or no to anything at that time. But Patricia Ray, what is the best purple hull pea variety? You on mute, mommy. It should be at the top, I think.
Okay, it came in.
Okay.
I use the pink eye purple hull pea seeds.
Say it again, pecan?
The pink eye.
Oh, the pink. Okay.
Purple hull pea seeds.
Anybody else know any other difference? Mr. Dawson, do you have a purple hull pea variety?
I didn't get the question. Say it louder.
Do you know a purple hull pea variety that is a good one to grow?
You got the green ones, and also you got the purple ones. I'll get it to you and post it on your link.
Okay,
we'll post them on your link.
Appreciate that. We
And
have a question.
Miss Bettina said pink eye as well.
Okay.
Miss Joyce asking, will this be able to be viewed later?
Yeah, but I have another question.
Yes, ma'am.
She already answered me on that.
Okay.
I'm working with the Black farmers in the state of Indiana, and we got the grant that supposed to buy our products for, of course, feeding the poor to start with. But I wanted to know if you guys are sharing this information with any of the other Black farmers, because I'm definitely going to let them know, when we start growing the food, what we should grow specific to us.
Definitely, we do. We are nationwide, and we've had some international callers before, but we are willing to share, and we're willing to collaborate with you, to do information outreach. We also do travel. We also do consulting. So whatever it is you need, if you like our style, I'm sure there's other organizations, providing information as well. But if you like the way we work and how we're moving, then we would love to partner with you and, see and help you maybe create a chapter of women in agriculture there.
That would be great, because we do have some educational money. So if we could, talk about, maybe bringing you here to do some education about this kind of stuff, that would be fantastic.
Definitely. And we would love to also motivate your people as well. We were unable and unsuccessful to sell beets to our community at all, even though every person that we were dealing with had low blood iron, and beets are the #1 remedy for that. And so, just motivating people to not take the iron pill and go through constipation as a supplement, and, incorporate something more nutritious. And if you're pregnant, you can't eat a lot of beets. So you got to eat the beet greens to get that iron that's needed. So those types of things we want to empower your people with.
Fantastic. Looking forward to it.
Awesomeness. Our information is in the chat. Please look at that and copy and paste. Any other questions? We got Plant Artsy on the call, everyone. If you are interested in any kind of landscaping, you know, for plants that are not edible, you might want to look into Plant Artsy. And what's going on, Trisha? You got to unmute. Oh, you just said hi to Plant Artsy?
She said she was.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, I want to know, do y'all know how to grow strawberries and watermelons?
Yeah.
Grow water for sure.
Strawberries are a little tricky. Who has been the most successful are those with you know, a lot of land, but they also might have seasonal high tunnel or a greenhouse. And that being because when the season extends, you need some sort of shading and cooling here in Texas. But if you were trying to just grow them on a small scale for yourself in a raised bed, you can be very successful here in Texas with strawberries. But watermelons, what you talking? White meat, yellow meat, red meat, what we doing? So one thing that was cool, if Miss Nikki is still on the call, when she was growing melons in her backyard, I was so proud of her. Her melons was great smelling, looking, everything. But I remember having to consult with Mr. Dawson about this because all her melons had scratches on them. And I was like, what in the world is up with these scratches on my clients' melons? Well, the rodents in the area are trying to track and see when they'll be done. So anytime you see a watermelon or a melon that's got scratches, it was definitely, it might be one of the more natural situations because those animals was trying to make sure, you know, it was not ripe enough yet before they actually go into it. But you will be successful on a fence or trellising them up if you do not have a lot of room in your backyard, because watermelons and melons and squash, they take over. So, and the reason they do that, these big leaves, and those big leaves are to kill off the grass and make a suitable place for them to lay their babies. So once they do that, they cover them up, you know, with all these leaves. But if you trellis them, which means like create some sort of fencing or maneuver those vines in those fences, your melons will just hang from the fence. And it's really, really cute that way. So if you don't have a lot of room, link up with us about that. Any other questions?
It doesn't look like I have any here in the chat.
Okay. Plant Artsy, how's it going? Unmute yourself and tell people about your business, please.
Hey, Darcy, how's it going?
It's going great.
Great. So I'm Christian with Plant Artsy, and so I run the landscape department of Valentine Homes, which is a home renovations company. And so my specialty is with your house plants, your indoor plants. So if you have like any questions or requests as far as like your indoor plants, and they also filter the air, which is pretty good with most of your tropicals. Though they're not edible, but that is the benefit of having them inside your house. And then as far as like landscaping, I do all the way from your xeriscape, which is like your cactus, your agaves, stuff that don't require too much water. It's basically surviving off of the rainwater. Up to English style, cottage style gardens, which is the clusters of like different color flowers and textures. So whatever you're looking for, feel free to DM me on Instagram at Plant Artsy, or feel free to find me on Facebook at Plant Artsy.
Put your information in the chat, and this is who I buy all indoor plants from. I will never do anything other. And the reason being is because I've seen this baby when he entered into college. And I've seen his love for plants. I see how compassionate he is, but also he will be a millionaire in this game. He will always be into plants. He will always be into nature and earth. And so I respect that about this young man. And that goes to my next point. I am in partnership with I'm a cactus farmer now. So we have an outlet for a lot of cactus that you can propagate over. I mean, I'm propagating it, but I'm selling a lot of cactus now. So I just want to put that on your mind for any of your projects that need cactus. I'll send you some pictures later and I'll start posting.
And you'll need to get with Vandella. She wants access to those fresh beets if you have any more left.
Yes, will do.
May I also make a comment, please?
Yes.
A little commercial for next Saturday. You haven't mentioned it. So I will. I'm with the Denton Black Film Festival. I'm the director of social justice programming. And next Saturday, Darcia, along with several other local gardeners and farmers, will be on a panel at the Denton Black Film Festival. And if you want more information about that, it's simply dentonbff.com to get the schedule. And the following weekend, I'll be hosting a virtual event so that we can continue to encourage people to do what I say, be healthy, grow some food. And even if you decide that you're not going to actually grow food, my goal is to have people have a better understanding and appreciation for those people that are bringing healthy food options to our tables and to our farmers markets and to our grocery stores. So check it out. Join us if you can.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that plug.
Yes. And Christian, you know, I told you the story about Christian. I met him at Paul Quinn, and it's so good to see his face and all the plants that I bought from them that cold October day in 2018 are still living in my home today. And it really started me to bringing more plants inside my home. I'm a what I call an urban farmer, but meeting those two young men at Paul Quinn really changed my life. It's been amazing. So I'm so glad to see him in person again.
Right. We were just speaking about you and Arthur and the other, what was the other, Chandler. She asked me, she said, I bought some plants for somebody. I said, Christian Cooper, Plant Artsy. That's his name now.
Yeah, great deal.
Yes. So thank you all so much. We're 3 minutes over. We appreciate your time. Our goal is to network and create a highway of security and food. Patricia Ray, you are 100% amazing. She did not tell you that she also has doves. And when she blows her whistle, they come home. So we'll talk about that a whole nother day. Thank you so much. And back over to you, Jerry.
Once again, we want to thank y'all for coming out. If y'all like what y'all hear, DallasAgWomen.org. Come join us. You can get all this information from us, all this game, all this passion. As you can hear, we have a lot of folks on the line that have expertise. We utilize that from within our organization. And if y'all are really excited, I want you to go out to www.freedomtogrow.us. And this is where you're going to see an accumulation of all these great people, stories, and practical opportunities and solutions for you to be in. You will definitely be hearing from Patricia Ray speaking there again. So once again, freedomtogrow.us, October the 2nd through the 7th in Atlanta, y'all. Thank you again. Peace.
Thank you. See you next Sunday at noon. This is a ritual.
Yes. Same time, same place.
Deuces.